Test drive a smart car next.
CapeCast.
Howdy folks, I'm Eric Williams and welcome to CapeCast, the official webcast of the Cape Cod Times for March 11th. We get the skinny on a tiny smart car in the second half of the show, but first let's take a look at news. Truro police have applied for a criminal complaint against Truro Fire Chief E. Thomas Prada on a sexual assault allegation. Truro Police Chief John Thomas declined to give details about the alleged incident or the alleged victim, except to say that rape as a form of sexual assault was ruled out. In the Mustering the Bluster department, yesterday was perhaps the longest winded day in Cape history. Last night's public hearing on the Cape Wind project for Nantucket Sound drew nearly 1,000 yayers and nayers to the Matakees Middle School in West Yarmouth. Meanwhile, Blue H, a Dutch-owned company that hopes to develop a 120-turbine deep-water wind farm 23 miles south of Martha's Vineyard, rolled out their plans yesterday at a Hyannis press conference.
The issue is, and the point that needs to be acknowledged, that we're in deep waters. That's where the resource is in the United States. 90% of the offshore wind resource is in deep waters. So by being in deep waters, we have a wider window of opportunity if we run into some particular issues. We don't want to be in an area that's going to be contentious or high risk. So by being out in deep waters, we can be more flexible.
Would these be visible from shore?
23 miles offshore, primarily not. On the best day of all of this clearest conditions, you might see something out there. But primarily, once you get 30 miles and beyond, you'll never see it. And 23 miles, and most days, you won't see it at all.
You guys are kind of cool with this further offshore kind of thing, this proposal?
We've said it looks promising, and certainly it seems like there are a lot less conflicts that we're going to have.
And you like the idea maybe that it's further offshore and out of sight?
Well, that's certainly a big plus. I mean, our organization has basically said not in Nantucket Sound. We're for wind, and we've been called hypocrites and what have you, but we're protecting the Nantucket Sound. This one is offshore, renewable, and it's far out there, so does look to be a positive.
Now, earlier today, we were at a press conference for a company called Blue H, who had a proposal for a project further offshore. I'm wondering if you're aware of this proposal and have a position on it.
Well, I just heard about it the other night. I really welcome developers that will come in and risk their capital to build renewable energy, because the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is going to need a lot of renewable energy going forward.
Hey folks, intrepid Cape Cod Times business reporter Sarah Shemkis recently test drove one of those nifty little smart cars, and she briefed CapeCast on the Mini-Mobile.
Well, Sarah, we're in this corral of gas-guzzling cars, aka a parking lot, but there is another alternative. You recently had the chance to drive a Smart for Two car, one of those little guys. What was that like?
Well, it was great. It was the culmination of years of dreaming since I first saw them on a trip to Europe. It was not as smooth a ride as I thought it would be, but once I mastered it, the whole world turned into a fertile ground of parking opportunities.
And that's because you can sidle those things up and in places that a regular car just couldn't go.
Absolutely. You can pull it head-on into a parallel parking spot. In fact, you could probably fit two into the space you could normally fit one Camry into.
What about gas mileage? Are you really saving a lot?
Not a whole lot. The mileage is, I believe, 33 on city roads and 41 on the highway, which is slightly better than, say, another a Corolla or a Civic, but not quite as good as a Prius or another small hybrid.
And do you feel cool in one of these cars?
Oh, absolutely. You get all sorts of looks, and people gawk and stop and want to know all about it. It absolutely is attention-grabbing.
And CapeCast also had the chance to test drive a smart car, but we opted for a test taste instead. Read Sarah's smart car story in today's Cape Cod Times or at CapeCodOnline.com. Now let's check the all-important Cape and Islands weather forecast, backed by a sure sign of spring, putting the floats back in over by Veterans Beach in Hyannis. For tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 30. For Wednesday, a chance of showers before 3 p.m. Cloudy, then gradually becoming mostly sunny with a high near 41. Okay, we've got to get out of here. This has been CapeCast for March 11th. Till next time, see ya!
CapeCast.